Mariam had always been the responsible one in her family. She wasn't the oldest, but she acted like it. She picked up her younger brother from school, helped her mother with errands, and even managed her own college assignments without anyone reminding her. People admired her calm nature and her ability to stay focused, no matter how busy life got. But even the most responsible people have moments when everything slips out of control, moments when a single choice becomes the line between safety and regret. It was a chilly evening in late November, the kind when the air feels heavier and the streets look dull under the early setting sun. Mariam had just finished her part-time shift at a local bookstore. She was tired, but satisfied. The store had been busy due to holiday shoppers, and she had been on her feet for hours. She checked her messages, saw a few from her friends inviting her to dinner, but she replied that she needed to get home and help her mother prepare for guests arriving the next day. She stepped into her small silver car, turned on the engine, and watched her breath fog the inside of the windshield. As she drove out of the parking lot, she replayed her plans for the night. She needed to buy bread, stop by the pharmacy, and then head home. She wasn't in a hurry, but she wasn't relaxed either. She was somewhere in between, the way many people get when their minds are full. Halfway down the main road, her phone buzzed in the cup holder. She ignored it at first. It buzzed again, then again. Mariam glanced at it between traffic lights and saw her father's name on the screen. He rarely called. He usually texted or waited until everyone was home. Seeing his name made her worry for a moment, but she didn't pick up. She kept driving. When the phone buzzed a fourth time, a small knot of fear tightened in her chest. She imagined something happening. Maybe her grandmother felt sick again. Maybe her brother was in trouble. Maybe her father needed help. She couldn't help herself. She reached for the phone at the next slow stretch of traffic and answered. "Baba, is everything okay?" She didn't notice the slight drift of her car toward the lane on the left. She didn't notice the car in that lane trying to speed up to pass her. All she heard was her father's shaky breath and a voice that wasn't usually nervous. "Mariam, are you driving?" he asked. "Yes, but—" "Mariam, pull over, please. I need to tell you something important." She frowned. His tone scared her more than anything else. She glanced back at the road, but her mind was now split in two, one part trying to stay focused, the other trapped in fear, imagining the worst. She looked for a safe place to pull over, but the road was narrow, with only a small shoulder on the right. Cars were rushing past her, headlights bright in her side mirror. She kept talking, trying to calm him. "Baba, just tell me." "I can listen." "No, Mariam. Pull over first." The urgency in his voice made her heart race. She tightened her grip on the steering wheel and signaled right, trying to shift to the shoulder. But cars behind her were impatient and honking. She felt trapped. She didn't want to stop in an unsafe place, but she didn't want to ignore her father's fear either. "Just wait, Baba. I'm pulling over." She turned her head toward the shoulder for only a second. Only a second moment. But a second is all it takes for everything to change. As she drifted slightly, the car in front of her braked suddenly to make a sharp turn into a side road. Mariam didn't see it until she was too close. Her eyes widened, and she slammed her foot on the brake. The tires screeched. Her phone slipped from her hand. Her heart jumped into her throat as the steering wheel shook violently. Her car skidded forward, unable to stop fast enough on the cold road. She tried to swerve to the left, but a car was coming from that lane. She jerked the wheel the other direction, but the shoulder was too narrow. The world around her blurred for a moment as she felt her car slide, tilt, and then jolt to an abrupt, harsh stop near a shallow ditch. Everything went quiet. Mariam sat frozen, hands gripping the steering wheel so tightly her knuckles turned pale. A soft ringing filled her ears. Her breath came in short, shaky bursts. Her heartbeat felt like a drum pounding inside her chest. She slowly unclenched her fingers. Her body trembled from the shock. She wasn't injured, but she felt fragile, as if any movement might break her. She blinked, trying to understand what had just happened. Her phone was on the floor, screen cracked, still lit up with her father's name. She picked it up with unsteady fingers and pressed it to her ear. "Baba? Mariam. Mariam, are you okay? I heard something. What happened?" Her voice cracked. I almost crashed. I'm okay. The car. It's not." Her father's voice softened, filled with a deep guilt she didn't understand yet. "Stay where you are." "I'm coming." She nodded even though he couldn't see her. She put the phone down and leaned her head against the seat. Tears welled in her eyes, not from pain, but from the overwhelming fear that washed over her. A few cars slowed down as they passed, drivers staring with concern, but no one stopped. She was grateful, in a strange way. She didn't want people crowding around her. She just needed a moment to breathe and understand that she was still alive. 15 minutes later, her father's car pulled up behind hers. He ran to her, opened the door, and held her tightly. She didn't speak. She just cried into his shoulder while he held her as if she were a child again. When she finally calmed down, he gently walked her to his car and helped her sit. He checked her arms and legs carefully, asking her over and over if anything hurt. She assured him again and again that she was fine. After taking a deep breath, she asked, "Baba, why did you call me like that? What happened?" He sat beside her, looking torn between relief and sorrow. "Your grandmother collapsed today. She woke up again, and she is stable now, but your mother and I were worried. I wanted to tell you before you got home." He paused, voice breaking. "But I shouldn't have called you while you were driving. I panicked. I didn't think." Mariam's chest tightened. She understood his fear, but her own fear felt even heavier now. She looked at her damaged car, sitting crooked near the ditch. One phone call, one moment of distraction, had almost changed her life forever. She leaned against the seat and closed her eyes. "Baba, I should have waited. I shouldn't have picked up. I know better." He shook his head firmly. "No, I shouldn't have put you in that position. I should have waited too." They sat in silence, the cold evening wrapping around them. Cars continued to rush past, headlights flashing like tiny warnings. The sky turned darker, and the wind grew sharper. But inside the car, there was only quiet understanding, shared fear, and a heavy lesson settling between them. When the tow truck arrived and took Mariam's car away, she didn't look at it. She didn't want to think about how close she had come to a disaster that could not be undone. As her father drove her home, she stared out the window, the lights of passing houses blurring into soft streaks. She wasn't just grateful to be alive. She was changed. That night, as she lay in bed, she kept replaying the moment she reached for her phone. The small mistake felt bigger now, heavier. Her father checked on her twice, making sure she wasn't hurting anywhere. Her mother hugged her tightly, holding her as if she had been gone for years instead of hours. Even her younger brother knocked on her door and simply said, "I'm glad you're okay." Their love made her realize how much more she could have lost, how easily a single call could have taken her away from them, or taken someone else away from their family. She didn't sleep for a long time, and when she finally did, she dreamed of headlights, cold air, and her father's frightened voice. The next morning, she woke up early, walked to the kitchen, and placed her phone in her bag. She turned off notifications for everything except emergencies. She promised herself she would never answer a call while driving again, no matter who it was or how urgent it sounded. Some lessons come softly. Others come sharply, in a moment that shakes your heart and doesn't let you forget. Mariam's lesson came with cold air, squealing tires, and a call that came at the wrong time. But the important thing was that she lived to learn it, and she hoped she would never repeat it or let anyone she loved repeat it either. The moral of the story is simple but powerful. No call is worth your life. If you are driving, let it wait. A moment of distraction can become a lifetime of regret. Stay focused, stay calm, and always choose safety over urgency.